I think we need to not overcorrect our judgment on Florida. I mean, if we win this game, we're looking at us being in a top 15, top 12, whatever matchup, going to LSU, probably being game day. Like, I think our roster still is still, maybe it's not as good as you thought, but I still think it's pretty close to. I think it's fair to assume this roster is still pretty close to what we thought it was in the preseason. And besides Lagway, I mean, I feel like everything else has kind of been close to as expected, missing a couple key players. But I think something we need to do here, you mentioned it earlier in the show, 1-11 is like I could see us losing the rest of our games just as I could see us winning the rest of our games. Like I've seen people in chats that I'm in talking about like, hey, we're probably going to go 1-11 because of this USF game. I think we need to not overcorrect because last year this happened, and I mean, we were playing awful football, and honestly, a lot of scenarios that team probably could have ended up finishing 3-9 or 4-8, or I mean, some were saying 2-10, but I mean, I don't think that was ever realistic. But Napier's culture, keeping the players in, was something that you don't really see too often, especially during the NIL era where it's just money, money, money. But Napier's culture kept players in, and they still beat Mississippi State, they still beat UCF, they still beat Kentucky. Like, I mean, they won those games by multiple scores, so it's like they were never even really in doubt, or they weren't even close games either. But like, I still think we need to not overcorrect from what we know from this roster. I feel like the biggest correction we do need to make on is whether Lagway is that guy. Because so far he has not shown it. I mean, we talked about before the show, I mean, mostly in NFL terms, but quarterbacks have not looked good this year. Seeing it in NFL, seeing it in college. I mean, specifically like looking at Arch Manning. I mean, Julian saying like, what quarterback has looked like they're an elite quarterback so far? Dante Moore, maybe?
John Mateer.
But it's also like, that's fair.
Yeah, he was pretty good last night.
Yeah, Mateer was pretty good last night, but
no, your point is well taken. Like, you're absolutely right. There is the guys that people were really confident about. There's been a lot of up and down play, no doubt about it.
But I mean, maybe they've been playing a Lagway stunt double, and we're about to actually get the real Lagway, who's just been resting for the entire time, but isn't gonna have any ring rust out there. But and he's gonna go out there and light LSU up. But I think we need to not forget that we've seen Billy go out there and lose these games, then still go out and win some big games each and every season. Like, I think we need to not overcorrect and start saying this is a 2-10 team.
No,
because barring some miracle, this is still a team that I'm expecting to win 5 to 7 games. We'll see what happens against LSU, but this is a team I still expect to be competing for a bowl game and not competing for the FSU of 2024 type of season.
Yeah, and just to clarify, like, when I brought up the 1-11 thing, it wasn't a prediction. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I know.
No, I know you do. I'm more just clarifying for anyone listening. Like, I just want to be clear. Like, the point I'm trying to make is that I think all these games are individually probably winnable. They're all also individually probably losable. And we've seen just the week-to-week inconsistency with Billy Napier. So, like, I have no reason, like, we could go out and beat LSU next week and look fantastic. And I have no reason to believe we wouldn't then lose by 4 touchdowns to Miami or lose to Mississippi State. Like, that confidence doesn't exist. So, like you say, you think we're like a 5 to 7 win team. If I'm being honest with myself, I'd probably say I think more like 4 to 6. But I think, to be honest, if I had to like handicap it, I'd probably say I'm looking at like 30 to 35% chance of making a bowl. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I just look at this remaining schedule and I think all these teams have shown positives except for Florida. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, it's also week 2, so
true.
I mean, that's why I said it earlier. I think this LSU game could really determine how the rest of this season goes. From a fact, we'll learn if we do need to overcorrect for this team and start predicting them to go from 10-2 to now be going 2-10. Like, I think we'll learn that pretty quickly. And that's also one reason I'm not fully like, there's people who are saying we should have fired Napier last night. I'm not one of those people. I think if we go 8, depending on what this 8-4 looks like, I probably want him fired because it's just probably going to be the same thing next season.
Yeah.
But like 7-5 easily should be fired, and probably 8-4 at this point. But I don't think he should be fired now because I also think that's might lead to some opt-outs. I think this team plays some really bad football, and that's when you get to that point to where you're talking about 2, 3, or 4 wins instead of 5, 6, or 7. I'd still rather us wait and win 6 games than us fire him and lose and win 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think you should fire Billy Napier last night or this morning. And I mean, it's not even because I understand that would be cathartic for everyone, but the fact of the matter is you don't gain anything from it. I mean, first of all, I would say, I think something we haven't really talked about on this show, but I think is worth stating. There's not really an obvious interim candidate here. It'd probably be Ron Roberts, or maybe is Dan Eno still on staff? Is Dan Eno still on staff? Okay.
He's a quarterback coach somewhere. I forgot. I was looking at it yesterday.
Yeah, so if he's gone, yeah, I mean, I'd say Roberts is probably the obvious interim. He's the only one on the staff, I believe, with head coaching experience. But I mean, I don't think anyone feels great about how the remaining 10 games of this season would go with interim coach Ron Roberts. So, I mean, and then you've got to elevate Russ Callaway to play caller at that point. I mean, which you can do. It's just there's no reason to do it this early, especially because what are you going to go call Marcus Freeman, James Franklin? They're coaching meaningful football games. What is the plan firing a coach on September 6th or 7th or whatever? So
no.
I don't think you fire Billy now, but I mean, it's just again, like you said, I mean, I'd be honest, I don't think he gets fired if he somehow salvages 8-4. I agree that he should. I don't
think he probably would either.
But I mean, I just think looking at all these games, it's I don't have confidence in Florida. And I don't know if what we're seeing on offense right now is fixable. I mean, that's the problem. I think our defense is good enough that we'll be in games and we'll probably steal 2 of them, 2 of the ones that we think we're probably not gonna. I mean, if you're taking kind of a more negative outlook where Ole Miss and Tennessee look hard, I think we'll probably win 2 of the hard games ish. But again, there's no reason that we couldn't then go out and lay an egg against Kentucky or Mississippi State.
Yep.
I mean, it's I'm just willing to bet this ends with a coaching change probably before the end of October at least, because I just think there's going to be some bad losses coming.
Georgia.
And again, what do you have the date of the Georgia game off the top of your head?
I believe it's November 1st.
November 1st. Yeah.
I think.
Maybe he gets to Georgia. Maybe Georgia's the one that ends it. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you overcorrect in the sense you don't want to fire Napier now because I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but yeah, you could pull a Notre Dame. And if somehow Billy goes 10-2 and makes the playoff, as annoying as last night was, you keep it rolling with him if he does that. But I think that's a lot less likely than a 5-7 or 6-6.
I just don't know. That's the whole thing here. It's we don't know. And it's annoying we're talking about not knowing and talking about being 12-0 or 10-2 versus us talking about 4-8 or 6-6 or 9-3. I mean, at this point, 9-3 is probably your peak now. And that's still going to be very tough if that's even the peak there. But I mean, we don't want to overcorrect here because, again, we've talked about we both still believe we could win any game on this schedule. I mean, we're probably going to both pick LSU tonight, maybe, but neither of us would be shocked if we go out there and win that. And it's real simple. If you go out there and beat LSU, beat Miami, you're going to be ranked inside the top 15, even with that one loss to USF. And you're going to be having a matchup probably the game day against Texas. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. And then you win that Texas game, it's everyone's going to be talking about you. The thing is, I think where the whole question lies here is Lagway. He has to play better, no matter if he's injured, if it's Russ. He has to play better or Napier's gone this year. I mean, I don't see us winning a lot of these games if Lagway isn't playing, at least to the standard he was last year.
No. And my problem is looking at the next 3 games, I'd almost like, I don't know if I want to say this for sure because it might be being too optimistic, but I'd almost be willing to bet Florida steals one of the three. I'd
No, I don't
I'd
think it's
almost
crazy at all.
I'd almost be willing to bet that, but I'd equally be willing to bet that they lose two of the three. Like, I don't see how Florida comes out and plays consistently enough over a month period to win all three of those games. And at this point, you may need to. Certainly need to win two of them to salvage anything. Can I address this comment real quick, though? Just one thing I want to point out about the buyout. I
Yeah,
mean, the buyout, man, is not that much
it's
money.
nothing.
I mean, it's a
It's
lot of money.
19.
$20 million is a lot of money, but when you compare it to Kalen DeBoer's buyout, which is, I believe, $63 million,
Okay,
Mike
did you
Norvell's, which is
actually
like 70.
did
What's
you
that?
see Kalen's buyouts, like how that's paid?
Well,
It's
yes,
paid
that
monthly.
incrementally. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was about to point out. Is that the thing we don't know about? At least maybe this information's out there, and
It's
I just don't
19.
know it. Yeah, I thought it was like 20, but yeah, I thought it was like 20 and a half. But yeah, maybe it's 19. Point I'm trying to make is we don't even know the structure. I don't think, at least we don't know the structure of Billy's buyout. We don't.
I'm pretty sure
Do we know how
50%
the
of it
payouts would have to
is
work?
50% of it is owed within 30 days. And
Okay,
then I
that's
don't know how the rest other 50.
okay.
I'm not
That's
worried
not
with
great. I
the
was hoping
buyout
that'd
is
be
not
more
the problem.
incremental. It's not. No, the point I was trying to make was that it might be incremental to the point where it doesn't even matter. I will also say they're negotiable after the fact. Like, we could fire him and negotiate the buyout to it. Almost certainly we will. Full buyouts are rarely paid. Like full. I mean, we're going to
Yeah.
be paying 85, 90% of it. But I'm saying, like, they will still usually negotiate these buyouts a little bit after the fact. So I think the buyout is not the question. I think it's frankly like, what are the standards and what's the commitment to making a change?
I disagree here because if Lagway's perfect, I mean, I'm picking us to win. I'm picking us to still go at least 9-3 if Lagway's perfect. I mean, if Lagway's
Yeah.
perfect, we win last night by 4 or 5 scores probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, I like, again, Rob, like, I agree with everything you're saying about the offense. I think it's beyond. Except what's that? What I'm saying, I agree with like what he's saying
Yeah, I
about
got
the
you.
offense leaving no room for error. Like, I think it's poorly designed. Will say it again. I've been saying it forever. I think Billy should have hired an OC. I think he should have done it 2 years ago, frankly.
Yeah,
But we're past
probably.
that point now. We're past that point now. I mean, the hire an OC ship has sailed. Either it's going to work with him or he's gone. So, but I mean,
that's the part you're missing. He's gonna announce tomorrow night or tomorrow morning, whenever his media time is, that Russ Callaway is gonna be calling plays, and then we're gonna go put up 50 points, and we're gonna win the national championship, and Billy's gonna be like, "That was just my secret card in my sleeve."
Yeah, there you go.
Take all the credit, no blame. No, I mean,
Yeah.
Nate Peer took all the blame last night. Like, he answered the questions like as probably should have, and it's like no excuses. We lost this game, like, and that comes on coaching. I mean, I don't know if you expect Napier to. Like, people get mad at Napier for his interviews, but I think for the most part, he answers the questions like as you should.
Yeah.
Like, he's not out there saying controversial things like Lane Kiffin doesn't really say anything controversial. Like,
other than the
he does on Twitter.
The Central Florida basements thing, I don't think it was as bad as people made it out to be, but I think it was certainly an unwise thing for him to say. But that was kind of an exception.
Yeah. Yeah, like, Napier's not going to go out there and say something that's going to get you hyped up, but it's also like, we also just lost the USF. Like, he's not also going to go out there and say, I suck as a coach and I should be fired for this. Like, there's only so much he can do.
I mean, Mark Long asked him if he thinks he's still the right guy for the program.
Yeah.
And like, I've heard that question asked to coaches a million times. I've never heard one go, you know what? Probably not. I've never heard one of them say that. But yeah, I mean, he's got the right answers. It's just,
go Jags.
Like, the answers don't matter. Yeah. Go Jags. Well, that was fun. I'm glad one of my teams brought me some joy this weekend because the other certainly did not.
No, that's definitely true. But yeah, I just think the whole point of this segment is I see so many people I'm in chats with. I mean, especially the ones that going into the season were still, Billy deniers. And I see a lot of people just saying everything Billy's done here as a success is just a fluke. And it's like, I feel like it's just unfair. It's like, if everything's a success he's done, it's a fluke. It's like, you could also say for the other teams, their success over us was a fluke. And it's like, at that point, you're just doing too much. I mean, you can just say Billy sucks, and it's like, yeah, you're right. Like, he sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I think Billy's roster building prowess is pretty good. Like, I think you'd be hard
Yeah.
pressed to argue it's not. He's built what should be a competitive roster in the SEC. I just think Billy's frankly a liability on Saturdays. Like, I think there was a lot of mismanagement. Like, it's not even the play calling. I mean, that's certainly a big part of it, but I think there's just general mismanagement. I feel like we are not a very situationally smart football team, you know?
And yeah, the team just, and it's like on Saturdays, but I feel like the team also, it's like last year before that bye week. And after the bye week, they said that they just weren't being ready for Saturday. That the practice beforehand just wasn't ready. Like, did we just go back to being not ready physically for this game? Like, are we? I mean, it's pretty clear we underlooked USF, and I get it might be easy to answer that we weren't, but it's like, how naive of you is it to go back to doing something, even if it's just for 1 or 2 weeks, that wasn't working for you, that was going horrible for you last year, and go back to it because you had some success and now you're expecting it to just come with all the media hype? Like, I'm kind of hoping that's what it was because I still want us to go out there and make the playoffs. I don't want the season to be over here on week 2 going into week 3. Like, I still want us to have a competitive and fun football season with this tough schedule.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So
I think like doing what they did last year, I think assuming two things, assuming the players don't quit and assuming Billy does not like basically get told he's getting fired, I think that you could easily see the kind of turnaround you saw last year. The problem is that's not good enough this time. This was
no.
supposed to be a team that was competing for the playoffs. And by the way, you have Lagway next year, but this is a window that's closing. You lose a lot of
Mhm.
talent off this team this
Yep.
year, a lot of talent.
Mhm.
And frankly, like the guys that are supposed to be the next generation aren't really stepping up. I mean, LJ McCray, it's kind of been a non-factor. Like that's just one example. I'm not trying to like single
Well,
him out. I just
I'm
feel
pretty
like
sure he played 2 snaps. Like, LJ still isn't healthy. Like, he played 2 snaps, and one of the snaps he actually made an impact on a play. He was actually really clearly held. Shout out the refs there, but I mean, he
okay,
only
maybe
played
that
like
was a
2
bad
snaps.
example. I'm just saying, like these young guys in general, like I don't feel very confident in what happens to this team once Barber and Slaughter and Sapp and
Mhm.
Banks, like once those
That's
guys are
very fair.
gone, I feel very little confidence in the team. And those guys are all going to be gone after this year. And DJ might be too, by the way, because like even if you don't fire Billy, would it shock you if you wanted a fresh start after the way if things continue to go this way?
If Billy's still coaching here, DJ Lagway will still be playing here.
I think you're
I'm
probably right.
90+% confident in that.
Okay.
Yeah. Carl Hector with
We
the super
appreciate it,
chat.
Carl.
Give Billy an extension. Maybe we'll give him this money here. Maybe that will
Yeah,
keep him.
we'll
I mean, it's
donate
more
that
than
to
he
the buyout fund.
DKT here. I'm a Seminole. Is Billy going to survive the season? I think that question will be answered, if not in this LSU game, in the next 2 weeks.
If you want to do a vibe check, I'd probably say I'm sitting about 75% he doesn't, 25% he does.
Yeah,
Does that sound, is that about where you're at?
Yeah, I'm definitely close to there. I mean, DJU Lagway doesn't need to practice.
Everyone needs to practice.
I'm not even sure if it's the practice that's the problem. I mean,
Yeah.
I mentioned stuff I don't really want to say here on air, but like,
Yeah.
there's other stuff happening there. It's like everything that's been said out loud says this isn't true, but there's obviously something there, and we'll see going forward. And I know one reason I didn't tell you, I'll probably say later, that this is that it might be happening, but we'll get to that later. But is there any other positive notes you have that, I mean, not just niche like, oh, Trace Mack was better in this game?
Yeah. I mean, the positive would be that the defense played well enough to win this game. And I don't know if we want to transition yet, but I think this will kind of segue us into what we're going to talk about. Like, if you want to find some hopium going into this LSU game, it's that, because I'm not sure this LSU offense has blown me away through 2 weeks.
No.
So I think the defense is in a spot where it could play good enough to give you at least a shot. So, I mean, that would be, despite what I said earlier about me thinking it wasn't good enough, like the defense was good enough to win that game. I don't know if it was good enough to beat LSU or Texas, but it was good enough to win that game at least. So,
yeah.